Good morning, Unity. This morning, in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, we'll be singing our praise songs in both Spanish and English, and we welcome you to join us. Please rise as you are able. Oh, great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea. Sky and sea, you are inside and all around me. Oh, Espíritu, tierra, sol y mar, tú estás en todo, tú estás en mí. Oh, gran Espíritu, tierra, sol y mar. Sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me. Oh, gran Espíritu, tierra, sol y mar, tú estás en todo, tú estás en mí. Oh, great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are tierra, sol y mar, tú estás en todo, tú estás en mí. You are inside and all around me. Tú estás en todo, tú estás en mí. Welcome, y'all.
Sunday celebration at Unity of Houston, and don't you just love our Spanish ministry folks in their national traditional garb? It's so beautiful. Thank you all. Today marks the beginning of Hispanic Heritage Month, and we're so happy to honor all of our diversity here, but we're also happy to honor the individual light as you, and we do that by welcoming each other right now with a handshake, a hug, a holy high five, and if you prefer, no contact, just give us this.
surrender to a luminous love light of the world.
B-I-N-G-O and bingo is my name. Oh, come join us for a family night of bingo.
Come on Saturday, September 28th from 2 to 5 in the Pyramid.
For $30, you can get 8 bingo cards for 8 games. There'll be prizes, one for adult and one for child per game.
Adult prizes include a $500 gift card to Costco.
Yay!
Family tickets for 4 to the zoo, and 4 Dynamo soccer tickets for a game, a beautiful gift basket, gift cards, and more.
I want one of those. And for the children, we'll have gift cards also. Chick-fil-A, I know that's their favorite. And then we'll have Target, Amazon, and as a grand prize, come on down with your new bicycle. Woo!
And there are cookies and drinks for sale, and lots of music and fun.
And then Claudia and Michael are going to join us in the last hour. Michael might play some music for us. Claudia's going to call some numbers in Spanish. And then everybody,
come and join us for fun!
Join us for the Cosmic Mass in the Unity Pyramid on Saturday, September 21st. The Cosmic Mass was originated by Reverend Matthew Fox, who is the founder of Creation Spirituality. This is an immersive, interactive experience where we will take a journey and call forth to allow to emerge from within us 4 qualities: the mystic, the healer, the artist, and the prophet. This is a participatory experience featuring music, some movement, which is optional, and communion, which is a blessing and sharing of bread and wine. The Cosmic Mass is featured at the Parliament of the World's Religions and at sacred events and locations all across North America and in different places around the world. This event will feature Reverend Michael Gott officiating and sharing the gift of his beautiful music, along with Reverend Stacy Collins and a number of participants from our community. We hope to see you in the Unity Pyramid on Saturday, September 21st at 1 o'clock for the Cosmic Mass. Join us for the
Come join me for the Cosmic Mass. I'm so glad to be back. Thank you all for letting your minister out of the church every once in a while. I was on vacation the Sunday before last, and last Sunday I was speaking and singing at Unity of Austin, and I brought your love to them, and they send their love back to you. And I got to meet some of our folks there who they're online, but they're in the Austin area, but they consider Unity of Houston home. So that was really gratifying to see that our work is extending beyond just where we're here in Houston. But thank you all for being with us. I have a few things I want to talk to you about. I do want to invite you to have lunch with me today. Everybody is invited. We're having a church-wide luncheon down in the Pyramid after the service. There's a suggested $10 love offering, but no one will be turned away. Children are free, so please come down and join us for lunch. And don't go too fast because of Hispanic Heritage Month, we have an indigenous Hispanic, pre-Hispanic dance that is so pre-colonial times that will be in the courtyard, and you'll want to make sure that you get to drink in the beauty of that as you're making your way down to the sanctuary, the pyramid. Did I say that right, Claudia? Okay, good. That's today, right after service. It is Spirit Group's host sign-up time. And actually, you can go ahead and sign up for a Spirit Group itself, too. I'm looking for Stacy, but she disappeared again. She's probably out there signing people up. We are still looking for hosts, I know that. Starting on October 6th, it's the beginning of our annual Fall Spiritual Deepening Program. We do it every year. We call it Touchstone. This year's theme is the path of freedom, being, becoming, and belonging. So not only will all of our Sunday services, both in English and in Spanish, be following along with the 6 weeks, but there is a small group opportunity. that if you would like to make some friends here at Unity of Houston, if you would like to go a little deeper in the spiritual content that we're going to be exploring, this is the perfect way to do that for 6 weeks. So if you would like to be a host for a spirit group, we're looking for folks who would be willing to just, host. It's not really, you don't have to facilitate a lot. But just, you can either host it in your home. We have a few spaces to open them, to host them here on campus. And then we also have online spirit groups, so lots of opportunities. So if you're feeling like you would like to be of service during our fall deepening program, go talk to Stacy at the table in the lobby after the end of the service today. And then, to launch our spirit groups and our Touchstone program, we always start with Homecoming Sunday. That will be October 6th. This year, we're putting a lot of special emphasis on that Sunday because we will be celebrating the 20th anniversary of this beautiful sanctuary. Can you believe it's been 20 years for those of you who were here at that time? So in the Sunday service, Reverend Howard and Diane Caesar will be with us. We'll have lots of ceremony. There might be a gift for you of spiritual significance. It's going to be a beautiful Sunday service honoring our 20th anniversary and also launching into our fall deepening program. The night before, because we have determined that on the Enneagram, this church is a 7. 7s love to party. 7s love to celebrate. They love to live from inspiration, and our community has a lot of that energy. So we are having a celebration on Saturday, October 5th. We'll be doing a little bit of ceremony here in the sanctuary, and there'll be appetizers and drinks here. And then we'll be partying down to the Pyramid where the Keith Vivens Quartet will be playing. The church has our own dance floor. It will be, the whole thing will be laid out. We'll have appetizers and desserts down there as well. So it's going to be a wonderful evening. Tickets are $20 for our 20th anniversary. It's just going to cover our costs, but we would love to see you at both of those events on homecoming weekend. And I think I had one more thing. In getting ready for our 20th anniversary of this building, we were doing a mini capital campaign to do some repairs and improvements for our sanctuary. And I'm happy to say we met our goal. And I'm sorry to say the goal grew, and we didn't tell you yet. So there's a funny story that a minister took a new church. It was actually an old, beautiful old church. And his first Sunday there, he said, I've got bad news, good news, and bad news. The bad news is this church needs a new roof. The good news is we already have the money. The bad news is it's still in your checking account. Similar story. We did receive 2 professional bids for these new screens that we're going to replace them. And I don't know if you knew this, but about 10 years ago, we did upgrade these screens, and they didn't, because of all the natural light we get in this beautiful sanctuary, they really weren't what we needed. So this year, we want to go with what we really need, which is sort of stadium quality LED screens. And we did get the right bid for the cost of the screens, but the installation and the infrastructure improvements that have to be done, they were underbid. So we are about $40,000 short of our goal. So we would, if you would like to extend some more generosity towards this project, we would greatly appreciate it. We are not going to be talking about it anymore on Sunday mornings, but you can go to unityhouston.org. In the helpful links, you can find links to all of the information, but there's a form you can go to make your donation to help us get over the top for this goal. Thank you so much. If you're here for the first time, we'd just like to say thank you for being with us. This is a community of inclusion. This is a community that celebrates our differences, our unique ways of being in the world. So thank you. Thank you for being with us. If you are new here in the sanctuary, we have a gift for you today. At the lobby and the back table there, you'll see these gift bags. One of those is yours. And there's also a wonderful team there that will answer any questions you have about our community. And we'd love for you to fill out a connection card. And if you're online, thank you for joining us online. And if you haven't yet filled out the connection card there, you'll find it on all the platforms that we're live streaming. You'll see it easy to get to. And just want to know who you are, how you found out about us, and whether or not you would like to be on our email list. Wherever you are in your spiritual path, you are always welcome at Unity of Houston. Thank you for being with us. We do love our inclusivity and our diversity, and so we are beginning today our launch of Hispanic Heritage Month, and Reverend Claudia Olmos, who is the director of our Spanish ministry, is coming to launch that. So let's give her some love as she comes up.
Hello everyone, buenos dias. How you doing today? Bien? Thank you. So we are very happy to be here sharing with you the Hispanic Heritage Month celebrations, and I'm going to share this reading with you. We are the result of the union of 2 continents, where the blood of the Iberian Peninsula conquerors and the native peoples of the Americas intertwined. From this fusion, a new culture was born, carrying in its DNA the heritage of our Portuguese, Spanish, French, and African ancestors, along with that of hundreds of indigenous people who inhabit these lands. A culture marked by dreams of exploring new routes and territories, and by the deep love of the natives, the guardians of these lands, who maintain a harmonious balance with their environment. From this mixture, a new world emerged in 1492, 5 centuries ago, which, while we cannot ignore the dark shades of colonialism and violence, also opened a window to a bridge connecting ancestral native roots with Iberian traditions. Although our culture is uniquely expressed in each Latin American country, as you can see, with difference shaped by the geographic location and the particularities of its native inhabitants, we share common traits like hard work, resilience, and joy as the main denominators. This 2024, we have chosen the gifts of our ancestors as the central theme of our celebrations, which we will present during our Hispanic Heritage Month, what we inherit from our parents, grandparents, and those who came before us has become the gifts we now bring to this country. Today, I want to personally share the legacy I have received from my father, Emilio Olmos Garcia. He, being a person of humble origins, fought to get ahead and, with great effort, managed to complete a university degree, becoming the first in his family to do so. Afterwards, he ensured that both my brother and I also have access to a university education. Among the many lessons I received from my father, the value of working with tenacity and determination to achieve my goals stands out. He taught me that education is the most important inheritance one can receive and pass on to their children. For this reason, he instilled in us a love for reading and always encouraged us to seek knowledge. He took us to museums, concerts, and exposed us to the arts, passing on his passion for continued learning. He also taught us to keep improving ourselves, learning from everything and from every place we visited. Keep a positive attitude towards everything, he used to say, and look for the gift even in difficult situations. You can always choose your attitude, and you should strive to find reasons to smile. He instilled in us the importance of being honest and genuinely interested in people, as everyone has a valuable story from which you can learn. My father, a psychologist by profession and a counselor by vocation, was a person close to people. Life inspired him to be that way with us, his children, and with many others. One piece of advice he gave me when I started working was that in a new job, I should observe and listen more than I speak, asking questions even if they were repetitive until I was sure I understood everything well. Only then could I improve the place, leaving it better than I found it. These are some of the gifts I received from my father, which I brought with me to this country. They inspire me to embrace this new culture, connect with people, and work with determination and honesty. These are also the gifts I now pass on to my daughters, along with a love for culture, the arts, and the desire to keep building a better future in this country. Today, I give thanks for these gifts and the opportunity to share them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Reverend Claudia. For our meditation today, we're going to do something a little bit different. Our friend John Moore, who is a Family Constellations facilitator, always opens his sessions with this beautiful ancestor meditation. And I asked him if it'd be okay if I gave a shorter version of that for our Sunday service meditation today, and he gave his blessing. So I'm going to sing this song, but I would like us to go ahead and enter into this space of meditation. The song I wrote says, "Let your light shine through me," and asking the divine to shine through us. But I'd like us to hold the idea that the light of the divine coming particularly through our parents, grandparents, and ancestors today. So if you invite you now just to go within, you might adjust the way that you're seating so that you feel supported. You can have a gentle, focused awareness, which is the essence of meditation. And allow my song to be a prayer to move us deeper into this space. Let your light shine through me in places where it's hard to see, where love is dim and hearts and eyes are blind. Oh God, let me shine. Let your light shine through me in places where it's hard to see, where love is dim and hearts and eyes are blind. Oh God, let me shine where love is dim and hearts and eyes are blind. Oh God, let me shine. So we open in this receptive state, opening to allow the light of the divine to shine through us. In this guided meditation, I invite you to allow my words to create images and pictures for you as we take this brief journey together of honoring our ancestors. First of all, I invite you to imagine yourself standing in a beautiful opening. This could be out in nature, a meadow or a field. And imagine that in the center of your heart space there is a light. This beautiful golden white light that is at the very center of your being. Spark of the divine, as some of the mystics call it. And as Reverend Stacy spoke to us so beautifully, it's not the raisin in the bun. We are all human, all divine. But for this meditation, see it centralized there. Right in the center of your chest, there is a light of love, possibility, and creativity. It's who you are at essence. Now I invite you to imagine your mother standing directly behind you on the left side. Now, and your father on the right. There may have been difficulty there in those relationships, so I want you to imagine them at their highest and best selves, where they are untouched by any wounding or limitation. And if they're still here on the planet, just go ahead and vision their highest, best self. They're standing behind you, mother on the left, father on the right. And their essential light, that light of spirit in their heart center, is beaming light towards you. They are giving you their intention for your freedom and wholeness and fulfillment, bringing the best that they have to offer and sending it to you. And if you were raised by adoptive parents or people other than your your biological mother and father, imagine them right there beside them, loving you, sending you their light. And feel the joy and the power of being supported by our parents. And now visualize your mother's mother standing behind her on the left side and her father on her right side. Your father's mother standing behind him on the left side and his father on the right side. Your grandparents, they are now sending their intention and creativity and power and love to their children and on to you. And if you didn't know your grandparents, maybe you've seen pictures, and maybe you can just imagine just a space of light and love, a shape of a being of light there. Going back a generation and the one before, see this unbroken line of light, love, and support. And now their parents, your great-grandparents, see them taking their place behind their children, your grandparents. Always mother on the left, the center of the heart, the father on the right. We were all grown in our mother's bodies beneath the beating of her heart. So that's why we put the mother there. Your great-grandparents, all the highest and best of who they are, sending that love forward to their children, to their grandchildren, and on to you. Begin to feel all that love coming to you in your heart center. And now the next generation takes their place behind their children, and the next, and the next, and the next. Begin to feel how this love moving forward, generation to generation, comes to you in this moment. Our ancestors only want their love to come forward in you. They have laid aside any limitation or any opposition, anything that would stand in the way of their light. And the light comes through the generations to us now. You can feel these wings of ancestors at your back, all giving love, all giving support. The power that holds you and lifts you. Just breathe it in. And now I invite us to call any other non-biological ancestors, spiritual ancestors. I think of the founders of Unity, Myrtle and Charles Fillmore, behind me now. I think of all of the souls who have gone before here in our community, Unity of Houston, for 105 years. They are my spiritual ancestors. Going all the way back to Bertha Miller in her living room in the Heights in 1919. All the other traditions which have supported us, the writers, the way showers, they are all behind us now, sending their love, their light, their energy. Now I invite you to, in your mind's eye, see yourself turning around and seeing this incredible group of souls loving you, supporting you, and offer them a bow of gratitude. And as you face forward again, feeling so supported, loved, empowered, we now look to our descendants. And so if you have children, see your children in front of you. Feel the love of your ancestors coming through you with your own unique connection with your children, loving them If you have no biological children, who are the young ones in your life that you love and have gifted your energy to? The love moves forward through us to our descendants. And if there are creative projects, if there's work, a work of art, or a body of work that you are using your energy to bring to the planet, see that before you, sending the love forward, always forward. And if there are grandchildren, see them standing in front of your children. The love, generation to generation, goes forward. And now, see your descendants turn to you and bow in gratitude, thanking you for your willingness to let your light come to them. And now I imagine and invite you to imagine wherever you are seated this morning, this Sunday, those of us here in the sanctuary at Unity of Houston, our light is shining so bright, and we see this light expanding and unifying, spreading across this nation, across this planet. We are honored and blessed by those who came before. We are willing to be the blessing for those who come after us. Where love is dim and hearts and eyes are blind, oh God, let us shine. Let us shine. And so it is. Amen.
Oportunidades de alcanzar el cielo para disfrutar lo que nos tiene presos y empezar a caminar hacia el destino nuestro. Creo yo en Dios que nos renueva, que borra el pasado y nos entrega la fuerza de sus sueños y todos sus anhelos para cruzar los valles y montañas, escalar la fuerza de sus sueños que desvanece el miedo para el futuro ver y con certeza vislumbrar que lo mejor vendrá. Cada día con la luna se muere lo viejo, el bullicio y los afanes se han quedado lejos. Hay que despojarnos de lo antaño y de su peso y confiados recibir lo que nos merecemos. Creo yo en Dios que nos renueva, que borra el pasado y nos entrega la fuerza de sus sueños y todos sus anhelos para cruzar los valles y montañas, escalar la fuerza mejor vendrá. La fuerza de sus sueños y todos sus anhelos hará cruzar los valles y montañas escalar. La fuerza de sus sueños que desvanece el miedo para el futuro ver y con certeza vislumbrar que lo mejor vendrá.
So beautiful. So beautiful. You got me? Awesome. This morning's conversation actually grew out of some chats that Michael and I have been having for the past year. And he started, we have our weekly meeting or so, and we're doing some planning. And he said, you know, you have so many musical gifts and you share them so generously here, and we're so grateful. But you also carry a tremendous amount of wisdom. I really want you to think about a subject you'd like to speak about on a Sunday, maybe the ancestors. And I think my first reaction was this. But honestly, I didn't feel like I was qualified to speak about this, but as I let it percolate, because it was a seed that had been planted, and it started to take roots and some shoots came up, and I realized that this subject warranted a bit of a panel discussion. So as I welcome our panel to the stage, it's a tremendous personal pleasure to introduce my friend, Dr. John Price. Dr. Price is a psychoanalyst with over 15 years of experience, dedicated to helping. Come on up. Awesome. Good to see you, my friend. He is, as I said, more than 15 years of experience, dedicated to helping individuals connect with their soul and transform their deepest wounds into powerful experiences of healing. With a master's in clinical psychology and a doctorate in psychology focused on Jungian theory, John has empowered countless individuals to find profound meaning and healing in their lives. As the co-founder of the Center for Healing Arts and Sciences, along with his beautiful wife, Ms. Leela Scott Price, John leads a unique integrative wellness practice that combines ancient wisdom with modern therapeutic practices. His groundbreaking framework, spiritually integrated healing, is at the heart of his work, guiding both practitioners and seekers on their spiritual journeys. John also hosts The Sacred Speaks, a podcast that explores the intersection of psychology, spirituality, and human experiences, featuring conversations with notable figures like Richard Rohr, Anne Lamott, Brian Murarescu, and Jeffrey Kripal. He's also the president of the Jung Center, Houston, and is on the faculty of Esalen, contributing to the dialogue on spirituality and healing. Please give John a welcome. And I would also like to welcome to the stage Reverend Claudia Olmos and Reverend Michael Gott.
Hello, check. Thank you. I'm going to start this off for a second, and I'm going to be a little autobiographical. And let me just also say, Ken, I am ill-prepared to speak about this subject. I'm not qualified to speak about this subject. However, I am qualified to think out loud and to push into some discomfort. So if you'll allow for me to do just that, I'm kind of taking a new road with, I guess this talk has opened up something new. I was sharing with Ken, like, you know, if you're not talking about something, you're experiencing something, and you're wanting to speak from that experience, but I also happen to be a person that sits with people many times all day long, knee to knee, talking about all the stuff that they say, I don't share this with anybody else. And so I come somewhat qualified to have a say about some universal and particular themes that we tend not to share. And so I've sat across from all of you at some point, and we've dug into a moment where you start to explore parts of yourself that you have probably never said out loud. It's experiential work. And so I'm going to do that publicly, and I'm going to say a couple things to get us started, and then we're just going to open this up. So I'm currently teaching a class at the Jung Center on suffering, on the nature of suffering. And I want just to sit with this as an inevitability in our lives. We all suffer. And most of the religious frameworks that we've ever had suggest we suffer because we live in ignorance. We're unaware, right? There are things that we just can't know about. And that's horribly uncomfortable for an ego that tries to position itself as knowing everything. And yes, you think that too. A friend of mine recently said that one of the greatest addictions that we all have is the addiction to our own way of thinking. And I think that's so totally true. And so fundamentally, what we're talking about today is actively and consciously pushing into your own discomfort in ways that literally feels uncomfortable. But ouch, that hurts, so I want to move my hand away from the stove. And we see that. Resistances are everywhere. It's radical, and it shows up in culture. And so the second thing I was thinking about is that I don't have relatives. Ken called and said, hey, let's talk about ancestors. Let's talk about ancestors. And I said, I have relatives. I don't have ancestors. And I lament this. This is sad. And it's part of what I'm going to suggest is at the root of a very problematic way of being in the world today that's painful for all of us. So Plato once, I'm going to read something. I usually don't do this, but my wife says it's when I tend to produce some of my better lectures, because speaking extemporaneously and off the cuff can sometimes get me into rabbit holes that I don't want to, I'll either forget about or, I forgot what I was saying. So I want to start with, Plato once posed a profound question. Do we have ideas or do ideas have us? This inquiry challenges us to examine the forces that shape our conscious and unconscious experiences. Are we merely carriers of ideas, or are we shaped, even possessed by them? In considering whiteness, for example, because I realized in my conversation with Ken, we were chatting through ancestors, and I mentioned something about whiteness, and I felt triggered as I said it. I thought, that's really curious. Why? And I looked at my friend's face, and he was like, look at that. So I did, and I've just scratched the surface, folks, and I certainly am not going to have a full purge here, but I am feeling quite emotional as I'm talking about this, so I know I'm into something important. So what Ken said is, let's talk about ancestors, and I thought about, in my Jungian studies, I've learned Greek up to like maybe 2 years old, maybe 3 years old. I've read from the Septuagint. I'm interested in religion. And I realized when I talked to this guy, Brian Murarescu, about his book, The Immortality Key, that something radical happened to me, which is I thought I'd been searching for medicine traditions or mystical traditions. I thought I was always going to find it in South America or with the Pueblo or the Lakota or somewhere in Mexico. And so my experience tends to look outside of my own tradition to find what I yearn for and lack. And so that's primarily the problem, is an inherent lack, a scarcity model. So I realized all of a sudden in talking to Brian that my medicine tradition was all over my bookshelves. And I needed to push hard, because one thing about dominance and dominance hierarchies is that the wisdom traditions tend to be taken out of the central position. And so when you think about whiteness or Christianity or certain power dynamics, what's really happened is an active approach to destroy art, to destroy philosophy, to destroy religious traditions that are connected with the land, and other dynamics like that. And we see this happens all the time. And so I realized something is very wrong with my self-reflection on what this is. So I wrote the following, and I want to just run this by you and then start us off. So Plato, as he says, do we have ideas or do ideas have us? In considering this question of whiteness, often discussed as a colonizing force. Whiteness is rarely considered a colonized culture. However, by rethinking whiteness as a culture taken over, folks, take a look at it. Taken over by patriarchal or hierarchical systems of power. We gain new insight into this complexity, its exclusion of the feminine, and its problematic dominance. To understand whiteness as a colonized culture, we must first consider how it was shaped by these patriarchal, hierarchical power structures that severed the connection to earth-based feminine traditions. The rise of these systems has cut out the feminine, both metaphorically and literally, from our cultural narratives. And in the feminine, I consider that to be the body, the earth, and the intuitive aspects of the human existence. And a new cultural framework is emerging, or has emerged, which prioritizes rationalism, control, and dominance. This is human, folks. We need to think about it in terms of us. This is us. We do this. We do it in our individual lives, we do it in our family systems, we do it in our larger cultural bodies, and we do this. It's a function, in large part, of our minds and brains that like to think in terms of the part rather than the whole. And we need to recognize that all of our egos are subjected to this kind of limitation and filtering. Our egos are filters. They cannot possibly recognize the totality of our consciousness, so we have to filter through, and then we start thinking in these discrete categories like race and gender and religion. This is our problem, and we have to do something to fix it. So this disconnection from earth-based traditions has deep historical roots. Many of Europe's indigenous cultures, such as the Celtic, the Nordic, and the Slavic traditions, were deeply, deeply connected to the land. Embodied in ritual, myth, and feminine deities. These traditions were systematically suppressed with the rise of the Roman imperialism, the spread of Christianity, and later the advent of capitalist industrialized culture. Patriarchal, hierarchical power systems replaced and rationalistic frameworks that elevated mind over body, reason over intuition, and control over harmony emerged. This is our humanness, and if we don't find ways to introspect and push into our own discomfort, which I'll tell you the primary place where I do that is with my wife, who's a strong woman, and she takes me on. So I found a formidable opponent, somebody to wrestle with, because I'm a warrior. And I'm part of that warrior class that, if left untended, will take over. I don't mean anything by it. It's in my nature. But it's our nature to take that warrior energy and push into areas where we're unconscious. So I come from a lineage of warriors. And we need the pantheon. So the warrior mentality is what took over, and that's what I mean by patriarchal. All male, very one-sided, dominance hierarchies that is extremely effective in battle. You want me on your side when I go to battle. However, the Greeks and the Romans learned very early on that when the warriors come back from their empirical domination, we need to create games to take that warrior spirit and sublimate it into something more connected, lest we demolish the city. You don't want warriors war-hungry taking over the city. We will assert our power dynamics in culture, in money, in family, in industry. So I'm doing this work, folks, and I'm doing it a lot, and I'm doing it really hard. And people like Ken and this conversation up here gets us to challenge ourselves and think out loud, if you have the blessing, in public, bringing your feelings to the forefront and moving into discomfort to heal in public, in community. We need each other. My mentor used to say, though I am in this world alone, I cannot do this world alone. So it's good to be in the work with you, brothers and sisters.
Thank you, John. To your, I want to draw Claudia and Michael into the conversation with the quote that I shared with you when we spoke before. The African-American filmmaker Julie Dash, she is, I think, Daughters of the Dust. There are a number of beautiful films that she wrote and directed. And she has a quote that says, "The ancestors and the womb, they are one, they are the same." The profound truth of that, when I read that, just stopped me in my tracks, but it also opened up a sense of my own connection to the ancestors through the maternal line, and reclaiming that disconnection from that aspect of our humanity, I think, is something that we are all encouraged to do. And I thought that the question about in our own lives, we may have disconnection to or impressions of or gifts from our own ancestors, and maybe reflecting on what that realization or process might have looked like for each of you. Whoever would like to start? Ms. Claudia?
You go first.
Well, I think that, we are called to be more integrative, to reclaim wholeness. Like our culture, also, we have these ideas of the colonialism that separate us from our indigenous roots, and not recognizing that that's the force that moves us forward, that is really, a moment to pause and to recognize that, that we came from also the indigenous people. Sometimes we have in our culture this kind of bipolarity that we want to be more white or more indigenous. So we have these two different sides. And of course, there is some myths about it. Like we think that being indigenous is not okay, it's not being smart, it's not being, strong. But actually, I think that this is the moment in these times that we are claiming that. We are kind of integrating that. We are knowing all the good that they have for us. I think that is a little bit of ignorance, like when we don't know all the richness that we have behind. That is the moment to look back and to regain all of that and integrate it into our lives. So there is a lot of richness in being in contact with the nature, with the environment, to take all these elements and bring them to life, to grow and keep, being thriving and resilient and make a better world.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, thank you, Claudia. Thank you. Michael?
Well, I've been sitting with the questions, and thank you both for your honesty, and you both have shared with me a little bit about the pain of this, that we've been cut off from the ancestral power and the lineage. A friend of mine is adopted, and she is a New Thought minister, but she didn't go to Unity Seminary. She went to the One Spirit Seminary in New York, which is an interfaith seminary. And one of the sessions they were studying, it was through an earth-based a shaman, and he was teaching about the power of the ancestors. And she raised her hand, and she says, "I don't know my ancestors." And he said, "They know you." And that's available to us. In my 23andMe ancestry, I have a grandmother from West Africa, 4 or 5 generations back. I didn't receive the cultural heritage of that. Someone passed as white in my family, but there I have that. I also have Native American. I got a little bit more of that. I'm Cherokee on my dad's side through both his mother and father. And I'm mostly white and Irish English. And 2 years ago, when I took my sabbatical to Ireland, I felt them. I felt the ancestors. And I'm so excited. We're taking a pilgrimage to Ireland next spring in 2025. What I experienced there was the regaining, the recapturing of wholeness of the masculine and the feminine. Christianity, as it spread across the world, did it differently in Ireland. That St. Patrick didn't make the pagan roots wrong. They were integrated and incorporated. So I don't know if you know, but St. Bridget, she is not only a Catholic saint, but she is a Celtic goddess. And all of the places where water comes to the surface of the land is considered the opening to her heart. And so I felt that as I walked the land of my ancestors. And like many Americans, when I was like, I think I'm your cousin. I have a grandmother named Coyne, and I know that they came from Connemara, the region I was in, and it's a very unusual name. And I was at this little bistro, and it was named Coyne's, and I said, yeah, I think I'm your cousin. And she said, yeah, you all say that, don't you? But I'm finding an opening in me to heal. I think about what Bell Hooks talks about when she says we shouldn't ever just say patriarchy. We should talk about colonial, white supremacist, capitalist patriarchy. It's the air in which we breathe. It has been running things on earth for thousands of years, and it has to change. And the ancestors have wisdom for us.
Amen. They really do. Speaking of personal ancestry, I did the personal 23andMe as well, because my parents are from Jamaica and Panama. And I did the DNA analysis, and both sides of my mother's family, my mother's family is from Jamaica, and her father's family is from Barbados. Father's side is all Jamaican, and all of them trace back through, on some level, through the transatlantic slave trade to West Africa somewhere. And the people who were in West Africa, who were captured and enslaved, they were coming from all of the parts of the continent. I had the opportunity, at my mother's suggestion, a couple of years ago, to take a trip with my siblings. She said, many, many years ago, I went to Africa with my older brother, and we came up with our own itinerary, didn't have an idea of where we were going, but we just went for a couple weeks at a time. And she said, I'm still living into the answers to questions I could not have formulated from that experience. And she said that's kind of what inspired her to say, I want you to travel wherever you want in Africa, but just go. This is your Christmas gift, go. And so I went for 10 days to Ghana and Senegal with my brother, my younger siblings. And it was remarkable on lots of levels to literally be on the land where ancestors likely came from. I have no specific idea of where my ancestors are from. But one of the things, the tour company I went with, they did a beautiful job of taking us to various sites in both countries, including the castle in Elmina in Ghana. There's a very famous Cape Coast slave castle in Ghana. And for those of you who may not know, within the slave trade, people were captured and were held in these slave castles before they were taken to ships to travel. And many of these castles have what they call doors of no return. And they make a point of pointing these out to people of African descent who may come, or all visitors, just to contextualize where they are and what actually happened here. And in Ghana, they had a beautiful series of ceremonies that they did for us, where they took us to a door of no return within a particular castle, and they created a ritual for us where we were asked to meditate on our ancestors, the idea that of the unlikelihood of one of their progeny returning through this door of no return, and to thank them and for whatever, for life itself, because we are linked to them no matter what. And the power of that ritual was, I wasn't prepared for. And then another aspect, and that ritual was after a series of other experiences I'd had in Ghana. And following that, they also had another ceremony where there was a particular family tribe that we were to have lunch with and conversation with, but then a ritual that they called a naming ceremony. Because in West Africa, usually when a child is born, they wait 7 days before they actually give them a name to make sure they're staying. And their first name is related, the name they give you is related to the day of the week that you were born. And then there's a couple of other honorifics that are attached to it. And because I was a firstborn, they used the honorific Nana. And so the name that I was given was Nana Kojo Abaka. And Kojo is the word for Thursday, for a boy born on Thursday in Ghana. And the last name is the name of this particular family. They were kind of adopting me into the family. And that ritual continues to resonate in some interesting ways, just because it's the contextualization and sort of the concretization of, there are other cultural systems, different understandings of spirituality that were pre-colonial or during colonialism that were supplanted and that many of us were cut off from. And to John's point, even within people of European extraction, oftentimes they had a similar, they were cut off in similar ways from their spiritual heritage, and encouraged to, and many times that is a layer of trauma that they're unable or unwilling to look at. But we have contexts now. The beautiful president, Jimmy Carter, says of America, he said, "We become not a melting pot, but a beautiful mosaic. Different people, different beliefs, different yearnings, different hopes, different dreams." I know we're starting to run out of time, and we could really have gone so many different places. I actually wanted to have the conversation about dreams, because as a Jungian analyst, that's rich ground. But thank you all for indulging us in this conversation. I hope it's been insightful or useful for you all. Thank you, all three of you, for being a part of this. I think this conversation is just beginning. We can talk about it over lunch. Michael, do you have anything else you'd like, or a way you'd like to wrap things up?
Well, I'd just like to, I think the theme that emerged this morning was like we're cut off from something that is rightfully ours. And so I'd just like, Gary, if you could come back out and come on the piano. I just want to do a prayer and just invite, before we do that, would you just turn around and look at the faces in this room and in the balcony? Just see everyone here. Every person brings a unique combination of all of the dreams of their ancestors and cultures, and we are sitting together this Sunday morning in spiritual community. How beautiful is that? And our diversity is our strength. We believe in unity, but not uniformity. Our uniqueness is what we bring. So I invite you now just to hold this space of healing, of reconciliation, of reclaiming the ancestors' gifts, that each of us in this moment, and collectively as a spiritual community, we receive even that which may not have any rational or, I don't know, there's no left brain way to it, but our heart knows the way to open and receive the gifts of the ancestors. And what I see from this is that we're all empowered to bring this to a unity that is filled with uniqueness. Each of us empowered in different ways, gifted in different ways, that we are the ones that we have been waiting for. We are the dreams of our grandmothers and grandfathers. And the healing happens now in us and through us. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. Thank you.
else but Unity of Houston could you be a participant and a witness of such a richly layered conversation on a Sunday morning. I'm just so incredibly grateful. And so as I gaze out upon this mosaic that is Unity of Houston, I'm just so touched by what Reverend Claudia said, that really our ancestors are calling us to an experience of knowing our own wholeness. We're all being called to integrate all those places that we haven't yet looked, that may be in the shadow, and we just open and receive the gifts of them. And that as I look at you now, we too are all the ancestors for the forthcoming generations. And I know that being a part of a spiritual community means that we are ancestors that will provide love, lead with light, lead with oneness. And so when you give to Unity of Houston, know that your financial gifts go toward sending that light, being that love, being a place of inclusion, of creating a welcoming island in this beautiful city of Unity of Houston. So will you say with me the offering blessing? Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive. And so it is.
Can't I am, more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am, more than I will be. I am.
Well, I don't know if I need one, but I get one for just a little bit. So thank you so much to our Spanish language ministry for being a part of this service today. Thank you. What a blessing. What a blessing. And they have some special gifts for you, as Reverend Michael announced earlier, that the Chicago dancers, I could see them. Oh, they look fabulous. Y'all go out in the courtyard and after service, and you'll really enjoy that. And just keep walking. And by the time you get to the pyramid, you have worked up an appetite, which is a good thing, because we have our church-wide luncheon today, $10 suggested love offering, but kids 12 and under eat free. And so if any of you are in an experience of walking through the grief process, whatever that looks like for you, just know that you don't have to do that alone. Maybe you've heard the announcement that last week we started a Journey Through Grief workshop, a 6-week workshop with Reverend Mindy Lawrence Curtis. Well, today you can still join that. It meets in the office classroom at 1:30, so you have time to go to lunch and then go do that. And then this week at Midweek at Unity, we are so excited to announce that Benjamin Brooks, he's back by popular demand. He presented at Sunday School for Adults, or Sunday Connections rather, and he just had rave reviews. So he's going to talk about quantum self-healing, and he has a very powerful testimony to speak to these techniques and tools that he uses in his own practice for transformation and growth and healing. And so he's going to share that with you on Wednesday night in the Pyramid at 7 o'clock. And so today, after service, as always, our beautiful Unity prayer partners who want to hold conscious space for you in your prayer needs. They're available to everyone down front after the service.
We're able, as we close our service, by singing the peace song. Oh yeah, with a Latin flair.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all of me. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joy and sound. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Woo! I love that. Join me now in speaking the words of our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And today we proclaim God is good all the time. All right.
It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful